Leidos. One part inspiration, one part science, one part legacy, and one part opportunity. We live in a complex, uncertain world, a world that demands breakthroughs today, like safe and reliable transportation, a robust infrastructure, better health solutions, a safer cyberspace, and an efficient military. Leidos, ready to support your next breakthrough.
In First Tech Challenge, you're developing real-world skills such as digital literacy, teamwork, leadership, creative problem solving, and project management. Skills that are used every day at Raytheon Technologies.
Hello First Tech Challenge teams. We're excited to welcome you to Freight Frenzy presented by Raytheon Technologies. I'm Mark Iwamoto, a First Tech Challenge alum and a radar systems engineer here at Raytheon Technologies. Just like First Tech Challenge, at Raytheon Technologies, we're accelerating ideas to solve some of the world's biggest challenges through collaboration, innovation, and of course, gracious professionalism. When I was in First, my team's robot included materials like plywood, PVC pipes, surgical tubing, and a lot of glue and duct tape. We found unique solutions to be competition ready and the opportunity to tackle engineering problems in a large team setting. Now, I work on the ASARS-2B program, an advanced all-weather surveillance radar that flies on the Lockheed Martin U-2 aircraft. I always knew I was interested in engineering, but it was the hands-on engineering and mentorship from Raytheon and other industry engineers that solidified my desire and gave me the skills, confidence, and opportunity to pursue it. Now it's your chance to build the skills and confidence to forge your own path and find unique solutions to freight frenzy and the real-world challenges beyond. Aaron, what about you?
Mark is absolutely right. First Tech Challenge taught me the power of creative problem solving, collaboration, learning through failure, and perseverance. Hi teams, my name's Aaron Kerrigan Mitchell, First Tech Challenge alum, shout out to Team 4140 Fish in the Boat, mentor for all 3 FIRST programs, event volunteer, and a manufacturing engineer at Collins Aerospace. FIRST is the reason that I am an engineer. It's also why I work at Collins Aerospace. And at Collins, my various engineering roles have not only allowed me to be innovative, but contribute to the innovation and improvement of humanitarian transportation. And now I work on producibility and ease of assembly, so that when parts need to be installed or replaced on a plane, it can be done quickly, safely, and in a variety of environments. The product I currently work on helps with overheat detection along the wing of the aircraft, so there's constant feedback to the pilot on the endurance levels of the plane, especially critical in dangerous weather or when transporting important material. Innovations and inventions of every size can make an impact, and the future of transporting critical items quickly, safely, and efficiently relies on your creative solutions. Good luck this season, teams.
Thanks, Aaron, and hello, First Tech Challenge teams. I'm Daniel Fishman, proud FIRST alum, FIRST robotics competition mentor, event volunteer, and project engineer at Pratt & Whitney. Through my experience in FIRST, I started to develop the skills necessary to communicate and cooperate with diverse groups. I also learned how to grow from my failures as well as my successes. On top of these soft skills, I obtained the engineering skills necessary to build a robot. Every day, I continue to develop and build these skills with my new team at Pratt & Whitney. Like Mark and Aaron, my experience with FIRST helped launch my career in engineering. Thanks to the valuable mentorship from Pratt & Whitney engineers on my FIRST team, I obtained multiple internships. Now, I get to develop innovative solutions for a class of Pratt & Whitney engines that support global humanitarian efforts. How will you use the skills you're developing today to build your projects of tomorrow? Good luck this season, and thanks for participating in Freight Frenzy, presented by Raytheon Technologies.
A huge thank you to all our sponsors this year, making our first forward season and Freight Frenzy game possible. Since 2006, Qualcomm has supported FIRST programs, events, and teams worldwide, and has also been a major technology partner with First Tech Challenge. Through their collaboration and support of FIRST, Qualcomm is helping build the pipeline of STEM leaders who will drive the invention age.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams, and welcome to the first Forward season presented by Qualcomm. My name is Susie Armstrong, and I am a Senior Vice President of Engineering at Qualcomm. We are so happy to be a part of this exciting season as we explore the future of transportation and how it impacts individuals and economies across the globe. The future of transportation is so vast, from getting packages delivered to your front door to bringing humans to space. So much technology from the business community powers the future, and we at Qualcomm are so excited to play a role in it. Our foundational wireless technologies transforms how the world connects, computes, and communicates, and has the power to enhance how goods and people travel, providing increased visibility and control over transportation systems. From the wireless technology that keeps us all interconnected, to powering solutions to explore life beyond Earth, Qualcomm has always been at the forefront of transportation innovation. And now it's your turn to drive. In First Forward, FIRST teams will explore how to innovate for future transportation ecosystems, making the delivery of essential items faster and more sustainable than ever before. You are forging a new path, accelerating the breakthroughs of tomorrow, and you are driving FIRST Forward, full speed ahead. Good luck to all this season.
FTC Kickoff, Game Reveal, and Meet the Field, sponsored by InSource Solutions. Today we're going to go through quite a few things, but I wanted to go to the next slide and kind of go through the agenda real quick like. So the program in there first, and then as we're going down through, we'll go the game reveal, we'll have a walkthrough of the field and so on, and some interviews with folks in that situation. So if you can, the other piece that's on there, you know, we have 3 kickoffs going at the same time. One's at Garrett College, one's at Capital Technology University, and the other one is at U-Turn in Richmond, Virginia. And so we're going to actually switch between them throughout this this setup. Next slide. And we're also hoping to have a little bit of fun during the stream. You know, one of the things I wanted to point out is a lot of our hardware vendors, you know, they are all having giveaway sponsorships and so on for teams. Remember to check that out at all their sites, whether, you know, Rev or GoBuilda or Tetrix or any of those. But part of this stream, we're actually going to be doing a trivia contest. We'll have trivia questions coming out on Twitch. You have to be logged into Twitch in order to respond. But the big thing there is you'll be able to win different things. We're giving away some swag. Some of the swag is coming from some of the vendors that are out there, as well as we're also going to be giving away some gift certificates to actually help teams upgrade to some of the new especially the gamepad hub that's out there. So next slide. One of the amazing things this season actually is we already have 39 rookie teams that have signed up going forward here, which is super cool. But so what we've done is we're going to start doing weekly Zoom calls with the folks, and anybody who wants to attend is absolutely welcome to attend, because we could obviously use as many veteran teams helping some of these rookies along as we go. The first session we have, it's going to be every Monday starting September 27th. And the first session, all the rookies who attend that session, we're going to kind of put you in for a drawing to actually enter to win a GoBuilda chassis that GoBuilda is donating to that rookie team. We'll have some kind of weekly theme that we're going to have, but it's mainly meant for questions and answers. I've had a lot of rookies get back to me and are looking for assistance for different things. And so we'll be sending out the link. I didn't want to publish the Zoom link on here, because I didn't want to have 1 million people on Zoom that had nothing to do with this. So all the Mentor 1 and 2s will get the link, and we'll be able to go from there. Next slide. Obviously the challenges this year, and I just want to talk a little bit about the season quickly. A lot of these I covered in the town hall before, but you know, we're going to follow CDC local guidelines as well as any guidelines that some of our venues happen to put into place. You know, we're kind of realizing that this probably isn't going to be this is going to be another season that's not normal, but we're going to try and run it as normal as possible. We'll, you know, try to do the same thing we did last year, keep teams in their own little pod, have larger groups than we did last year, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, you know, we'll try to get venues that are close enough so people don't have to travel too far and so on. So, you know, as that goes. So next slide. The thing with this is, you know, we're planning on running the hybrid events like we did last year. And we'll talk a little more about that in a second. But also, we also know that there'll probably be some situations where teams can't do anything in person. And like we did last year, we offered some remote kind of events, and we're planning on accommodating as many teams as possible with either of those two approaches. So next slide. You know, so basically our big thing is we're planning for a hybrid model. We're going to offer the remote if we have to, or if, you know, teams require it, or if we have to shut down for some reason. Judging will all, and Dean's List will all be done remotely, just very similar to how it was last year. And, you know, we're going to close our borders just like we did before. And, you know, you'll get preference to the events, the qualifiers that are closest to you. Next slide. So the big thing with hybrids, I mean, it similar to what we had last year. The teams compete be in smaller single day events. The big thing is we're going to try and get as many team members there as possible. They will be all 2v2 events, so they'll be like a normal year would be. But spectators will be the big thing that'll be limited, and all the judging will be remote. Okay, next slide. Okay, and then on the remote side, it works just like the remote did last year. Follows right along with pretty much what happens in the remote game manual. So when the game manuals get released today, you can look at the remote version as well if you know that's what's going to happen to you. So go ahead, next slide. Okay, this is the big timeline. Most of you have already received invoices, and so the whole thing with the invoices, we invoiced everybody that played in the last couple of years. Some people have canceled, some teams have gone by the wayside, and we're slowly getting all these new teams coming in. So it's the same as it was last year. It's $300 for 2 events. Kickoff is today. We're doing that across these 3 locations. On 10/15, the first round of registration is going to open up for all the teams that paid, so you'll be able to pick whatever your first event is. And then, kind of same thing is going to happen on 11/5. We'll pick the next one. It's not on a first come first serve basis. So when you go in the registration system, you select your events. It'll be done by lottery system. And at this point, we haven't figured out the exact date of championship. But when we go to the next slide, you can actually see these are the dates that we have that we're looking to have events at. Prior to our first setup going out, so around the middle of October, we'll be actually putting venues down to where these locations actually are. So the first one will be in November. The bulk of them will be in January into the beginning of February. And then if we go to the next slide, you basically have a chart that matches along with what the schools are doing. You have the low, moderate, substantial, very, and if you look at it, the rates, the COVID rates that are around there, as the rates go up, and different areas within the 3-state area we're in are, either in moderate or substantial right now. So if you look at that, what we're looking at doing is, in both those cases, we would have 18 teams come to compete that day, right? And if you look at the moderate, we're saying you can have 13 team members, including the mentors. The other way, you'd have 7. And same with volunteers. We would just reduce the number of volunteers and the number of team members, if at all possible, so that we could still carry on a similar event. And again, these are 2v2, and so you get to play a lot more people than last year, where you just had 2 teams playing against each other. Go ahead, next slide. And that's kind of the closeout for what I have. If you have any questions and you put them in Twitch, I'll try to answer them in Twitch. I don't really want to take up any more time right now. But if I need to come back later on and answer questions, I will, because I know everybody's really interested in knowing what the game reveal is and what it really looks like. So first off, what I want to do is actually, we're going to have our sponsor, InSource Solutions. He's going to give us a little message from them, and then we'll move on to figuring out what the game is. Good luck, everybody, this year.
Hello, my name is Aaron Evans, and I am Vice President here at InSource. It's an honor and pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 FTC Kickoff, Game Reveal, and Meet the Field event. For the second year, we find ourselves again challenged to operate in a hybrid environment for school and other activities like FIRST Robotics. This is also true in the business community. Companies now have organized to work remotely on a more permanent basis. Now, the major challenge for any business is finding enough staff to fill their employment gap. As Sun Tzu once said, in the midst of chaos, there's also opportunity. And I'm here to tell you that for every challenge, there are countless opportunities for those who are willing to engage and not just sit on the sidelines. Robotics really provide an opportunity to solve these challenges. This is true whether you're talking about manufacturing or other industries such as restaurants, car washes, stores, construction, and even hospitality. Because of these new challenges we face, STEM education is even more important today. Artists, designers, programmers, mechanical, electrical, sales, and marketing skills are needed. Currently, over 1 million STEM jobs are available that offer a starting salary of $77,000 plus benefits. By participating in FIRST, each of you are positioning yourselves for one of these career opportunities. You are the brilliant minds that will invent the new use cases for robotics. Now, here's an example of a cool use case where a robot is being used to solve a business challenge. This is Boston Dynamics, who makes robots that help to capture 360-degree views of an industrial environment in a 3D format. It can also perform a scan in half the time of the traditional laser scanning methods. It can operate remotely, and it costs $75,000. Now, let me tell you a little bit about InSource. InSource was founded back in 1977. We are 100% employee-owned. We live each day to serve our clients and act in a manner that is in alignment with our 4 unifying principles. InSource is not a manufacturer. We call ourselves being manufacturing adjacent. Our vision is to make manufacturers and industrial companies more productive and profitable. We are passionate about manufacturing and seek to accelerate the digital transformation of manufacturing in America. We're on a mission to help thousands of clients along their digital transformation journey and deliver over 1 billion in transformational results. While we love our Industry 4.0 technology, we realize that technology alone is not enough. Our secret sauce is that we help companies truly integrate these technologies into their business processes and routines, and are here to support them for the long haul. We call this the InSource way. We focus on 6 key solution areas that allow industrial companies to engineer, operate, and maintain their business. These are supported by a comprehensive IT infrastructure that is designed for the industrial environments and help to improve business continuity. So I want to thank you for your time, and I hope that you have a great season and much success in whatever you do in the future. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome First Tech Challenge teams. I'm First Tech Challenge Program Director, Ken Johnson, and I'm excited to be here for the First Tech Challenge 2021-2022 season kickoff and the big reveal of Freight Frenzy presented by Raytheon Technologies. We're thrilled to have Raytheon Technologies as our Freight Frenzy presenting sponsor, which is just one part of the First Forward season presented by Qualcomm. We have a full show today, packed with kickoff messages from some familiar first faces, a gracious professionalism message from our Dean's List award winners, the Freight Frenzy season reveal, and finally, a detailed field walkthrough to help teams get started. All the game materials are available on our website, so please use the website as your reference during the season. Thank you. Without the support of sponsors, volunteers, program delivery partners, and all of you at home, First Tech Challenge wouldn't be possible. In addition to celebrating our sponsors, we also want to celebrate our First alumni and give a shout out to our alumni and scholarship program at First. While we know the world isn't back to normal yet, we are excited to have more in-person events this season. No matter what our season looks like, at the heart of each and every First event is gracious professionalism. Here's our 2020-2021 Dean's List winners to remind us all about the importance of gracious professionalism this season.
Gracious professionalism to me is being able to create and partake in a community where everyone's ideas and opinions are valued.
It means being trustworthy, respectful, and always ready to work with others to help them grow.
Working hard to reach your goals in the competition, while also helping other teams reach their own goals.
Being nice and respectful to your competitors and treating them as friends while learning and growing with them as a community.
It means creating an inclusive community by helping others and even sharing information with other teams.
One way we can be gracious professionals is to share our work with the FIRST community online, so others can learn from us and we can learn from others.
As members of FIRST, we learn and compete, but treat one another with respect and kindness in the process.
Building the best possible future for everyone. Even though we are all competing against each other, if we raise our competitors up, we all win.
And now I'd like to share some of the things you can expect in the upcoming Freight Frenzy season. Another incredible First Tech Challenge season is here, and I want to share a few things about this season we think you're really going to like. The biggest change this year will be the return of in-person play. We know not all regions will be back 100% to traditional events, but we hope most of you will be able to get together for live competition. I can tell you we miss them, and I know our students, coaches, volunteers, and sponsors can't wait to get back out there, to compete, see what others have accomplished, and renew friendships, or at least friendly rivalries. There are still many unknowns, and we realize some regions and countries may choose the remote event format we introduced last year due to social distancing rules in their area. The good news is that the FTC scoring system for Freight Frenzy will support remote events for both individual robot match play and remote judging, just like last season. And, like last year, regions can switch from one format to the other mid-season if necessary. Your program delivery partner will make that call based on local rules and conditions. This season, teams will again be able to request judge feedback from their interviews and the materials they submit for judging. We added this feature as an opt-in option last year. You already know judges can only pick one winner, and the award competition across FTC is tough. We added this option as a valuable tool for teams to understand how they can improve. I encourage teams to ask for this feedback at your events this year. What else is new? Well, we just introduced the Driver Hub into the standard FTC kit of parts. The Driver Hub can be used to replace the driver's side smartphone and USB hub and connector with a single device. The Driver Hub operates on the Android operating system, which has been slimmed down, has a great user interface, and was built for our FTC competition environment. You can still use your smartphone and USB hub in FTC this season and going forward. We created a Tech Talk video on this subject with more detail. Check it out. I can't wait to see you play Freight Frenzy this year, in person and with all the wonderful excitement our games and events generate. I'll see you soon. And now I'd like to share some of the things you can. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the big reveal of the 2021-2022 First Tech Challenge game, Freight Frenzy, presented by Raytheon Technologies.
turn down the rates, and there she flies.
I'm sure you're all wondering why you're here. Does anyone know what this is? A robot? It's not just any robot. What? You all have something special that would make you perfect for this team, and we'll need all of you to solve this. So what do you say?
I'm in.
Yes. Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Your upcoming challenge in Freight Frenzy, presented by Raytheon Technologies, is to work together as a team to build a robot that can traverse rough terrain and obstacles to transport a variety of freight from warehouses to shipping hubs. The future of transportation is evolving. Will you take the wheel?
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge 2021-2022 season game, Freight Frenzy, presented by Raytheon Technologies. A team consists of up to 2 driver-operators, a coach, and a robot. The robot must be built from materials specified in the game manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing tool, but may expand after the match begins. Each match is played with 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. Your opponent for one match may be your partner for another. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls. In the back of the field are taped-off warehouses, which are alliance neutral. Obstructing the warehouses are barriers that robots must drive over or around. At the front of the field are Alliance-specific storage units. Alliance-specific carousels are mounted on the front corners of the field walls. Alliance-specific barcode tape is located between the warehouses and the storage units. 4 unique navigation images are located around the field perimeter. 2 Alliance-specific shipping hubs and a 3rd shared shipping hub are positioned as shown. Outside of the field walls are the red and blue Alliance stations. There are 2 types of freight: 20 pieces of cargo, 2.7 inches in diameter, and 2-inch square boxes in various weights. 30 lightweight, 20 medium, and 10 heavy boxes. 4 of the lightweight boxes are marked with an X. In addition, rubber ducks will play a key role in the game, and teams will be constructing their own custom-designed shipping elements. Before each match, the freight is stored in the warehouses and a preload box is placed onto the field for each robot. A duck is placed onto each carousel and in the middle position of each barcode. The remaining ducks are stored in the Alliance loading docks. Teams then place their robots on the field, touching the wall adjacent to their Alliance station, but not in a warehouse. The teams then place one preload box for each robot. A team may then decide to use their own shipping element in place of a duck on the barcode, or store their shipping element in the loading dock. The duck or shipping element on the barcode is then randomized to one of 3 locations. The players and field are now ready. Each match begins with a 30-second autonomous period. During this period, there are a number of ways for teams to score, using only pre-programmed instructions and sensor inputs. Delivering the duck from the carousel earns 10 points. Each piece of freight delivered to the Alliance's storage unit will earn 2 points. Each preloaded box placed on an Alliance's shipping hub earns 6 points. But there are ways to earn bonus points. If the box is placed on the correct level as indicated by the duck's location on the barcode, the Alliance earns a 10-point bonus. If a robot places its preload box on the level shown by its Alliance's shipping element position on the barcode, it will earn a 20-point bonus. A robot parked on its Alliance's storage unit earns 3 points. However, if the robot is parked completely in the storage unit, it will earn 6 points. A robot parked in the warehouse closest to its Alliance station earns 5 points. If the robot is completely inside the warehouse, it will earn 10 points. Following the autonomous period is the 2-minute driver-controlled period. During this time, Alliances score points by delivering freight to storage units and shipping hubs. For example, each piece of freight delivered to an Alliance's storage unit will earn 1 point. Freight scored on an Alliance's shipping hub will earn 2 points on a level 1, 4 points on a level 2, and 6 points on level 3. Each freight scored on the Alliance's side of the shared shipping hub will score 4 points for their Alliance. The last 30 seconds of the driver control period is the end game. Robots may continue scoring freight, and there are also ways to earn bonus points. Delivering a duck or shipping element to the floor earns the Alliance 6 points. A balanced shipping hub at the end of the match earns 10 points. If an Alliance's section of the shared shipping hub is in contact with the tile floor, that Alliance earns 20 points. Robots parked in a warehouse earn 3 points. However, if the robot is parked completely in the warehouse, it earns 6 points. Each team's shipping element, fully supported by a shipping hub center pole or another team's capped shipping element, will earn 15 points. There are many ways to score in Freight Frenzy, but there are also rules that, if not followed, will deduct points from your Alliance. For example, robots cannot interfere or interact with the opposing Alliance shipping hub. Scoring elements may not be launched. Robots may not interfere with their opposing Alliance's capping attempts. Only one duck or team shipping element is allowed on the carousel at a time. A robot may not cause an opposing Alliance robot to become pinned, trapped, or blocked. This is just a brief summary of the Freight Frenzy game. For complete rules, please read the game manual and check the Q&A forum. And always remember the most important rule of First Tech Challenge: gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a great season.
Welcome, Chesapeake, to the 2021 Freight Frenzy Kickoff. I am Jim Anderson. I am a head ref here at head referee, First Chesapeake. Just saw the video. It's your first exposure to the game. This one. Okay. First exposure to the game. I'm standing on the field that we have set up here in Richmond. Basically, going to give you a quick walkthrough. I mean, the game animation video is gave you a good shot. There's another video provided by First. I'll give you a little bit closer walk up. I'll walk through you real quick, but the best way to do this is to type questions in the chat. And there will be teams live here at Virginia at U-turn here that can also ask questions and maybe provide answers to other teams here on the Twitch feed. So definitely the best way this will work is if I can get lots of questions. I just got exposed to the game manual a little bit ago, so I did a quick power read, but I'm familiar with the game enough that I could probably answer some questions about rules or things that you saw in the game animation video or the other video that we'll show coming up with First in a little bit. So again, get a size to the field. The primary scoring elements are the veteran team members will recognize these. The cubes, which are boxes, and the wiffle balls, which are cargo, I believe, collectively known as freight. And the other freight element is the duck. So what I'm holding in my hands is all freight, is considered freight. You have the boxes, you have the cargo, and you have the ducks. What they've done this year, and they mentioned it on the video, they've actually added weight to the cubes. So here you can see I'm holding a medium weight cube. Here I can see I'm holding a heavy cube, and then obviously the balls and the ducks don't have any weights in it. But these are your scoring elements. This is what you will use to score with, and including going to areas like the navigate part like we had in previous years. What you do with your scoring elements is primarily you're putting it on the hubs. These are your alliance hubs. These are specific to your alliance. So these belong to you. And then there's a shared hub, and I'll bring this forward. There's a shared hub that goes in the back between the warehouses, which are those white boxes. And this is shared, and the team that puts scoring elements in, you see this? Yes. Scoring elements in and tip this hub to their color, red or blue, get scores in the end game. The alliance hubs are the opposite. You want these to be balanced during at the end of the match to get points. Then you have some areas here up front. You have the shipping, I can't remember the name of it, the shipping units, I believe. These are the hubs. Storage units up here. There'll be robot navigation that you can do into here. There'll be a freight navigation. So if freight is in there, you'll get points depending on the game. You also have, at the beginning of the game, just like in previous years, use vision targeting to basically, during autonomous, whether the duck is here, 1, 2, or 3, left or right from the alliance, 1, 2, or 3, whether you put your preloaded block has an X on it, whether you put your preloaded block on the first, second, or third level on your hub during autonomous. And again, warehouses are these back corners. These are alliance neutral. So after autonomous, either team can go in and get freight. And also be advised, you have the barriers here. This is 13 inches wide. Most robots are 18 inches. So you have to go over this barrier. It's about an inch, inch and a half high to get into the scoring areas back here. And then one, probably the most noticeable, and make sure on the blue side will get you the best view. There are the turnstiles here, or what's called the carousels. Duck will be preloaded and autonomous. So during autonomous, you could, by touching the edge only, spin the carousel to get the duck, or your team element, your team game element, what's called a shipping element this year, can fall onto the floor. Then during in-game, the drive team can actually position ducks, touch the sweeper bar, have the robot move, and score that way. The ducks can also be placed on your hubs. So that's just a real quick overview to sort of amplify what you just saw in the game animation. Questions and answers are probably the best way, because that way I talk about what you're interested in, not just talk about the general game elements. So I have, can tell me the questions, read the questions in my ear. Would I see the questions on our Twitch TV we have here running? No. Nope, okay. Yeah, I got you.
So how wide is the non-obstructed path into the warehouse?
Okay, so we had a question. Had a
I got the questions.
the non-obstructed access, there's two of them. There's one here and one in the back. This is about 13 inches wide. I think it's like 13 and a half inches wide.
13 3/4.
Glenn Davis, our logistician and field meister, said it's 13 and a quarter inches wide. So from the outer wall to this end of the barrier is 13 and a quarter inches wide, which could make it tricky for if your robot's 18 inches to meet the 18-inch cube, could make it tricky to get in. If you notice, I'm trying to figure the camera, let's go to the blue side. I got a better camera shot. And actually, what I'll do is I'll pull this off and let you show you. So on the end of the barriers, what holds the tube, you can see this sits on the floor. The tubes go in here, and this little triangle piece sticks up above it. So actually, the tubes of the barrier are about an inch and a half off the floor, but then the end caps are maybe 2 inches off the floor. So you want to keep that in mind when you get your field and play on your field. Another question?
How many game elements can a robot hold at a time?
A game robot can hold, so the question was, how many elements can a robot hold at a time? A robot can hold one and one only piece of freight, and if they have it, their team element. So they can hold only one of these, or one of freight, and the freight is the cube, a duck, or a ball, and or they can hold their team shipping element, which is a team element. Anything above, if you're holding two, a duck, and a cube, that would be an immediate penalty, minor penalty, plus a penalty every 5 seconds that you continue to hold the two elements. Next question.
This one's probably for me. If we purchase the game set without scoring elements, will we be given the weights to attach the cubes? Right now, that's an unknown because I purchased elements with the sets. You'll need to contact Andy Mark about that. I don't know the answer to that one. Next question. How many ducks are there?
On the field, either outside, I forgot to mention, let me go make sure I'm in a. There are, the ducks are here, in what is called the loading docks, or the extra ducks. There are, at game start, at game setup, there are 7 ducks outside in the loading dock for each team. There is 1 duck each on the carousels, and there are four decks out in the barcodes, out pre-positioned. So at game start, your field reset, there'd be 7, 14, 15, 16, 20 ducks total on the field at game start.
How easy is it to tip over the shipping hub?
Shipping hub. So I'll just pull this out here. I will use so here is I'll use a light cube. This has no weights in it. And you're probably familiar with this cube from past games. So a light cube really has no effect on the shipping hub. Here's a heavy box. I should start using the terminology box. It has some pretty good heft to it. You can see that on the shared hub, which is the one that you'll battle back and forth through your opposing lines, actually does tip the balance, so this would score for red. On this one, so pretty easy. The heavy one, just one block appears to actually tip the shipping hubs to be unbalanced. And I'm sure up here it's even heavier because of your moment arm being higher, farther back towards the center. So there's balance. Now I'll see if, so a light block, whoop, that was me pushing it. A block with no weights in it. So a light block on the top, I can actually, with my finger, push it over a little bit, and it'll actually, but I'm sure if I put the heavy block over here, it'll pull it back. And you notice as this goes back and forth, you can see there at the top, the freight moves back and forth. The second and bottom tiers have little channels, so that actually prevent it from moving around. But that's going to have to be, you have to experiment with that, because there's 4 different types. Actually, weight-wise, there's 3 different types of boxes. There's the heavy with 2 weights, there's a medium with 1 weight, and then there's the light with no weights. Then you have the ducks, which are the lightest, and then the cargo, or the wiffle balls, which are the second lightest. So you'll have to experiment with how you want to grab blocks and put them onto your shipping hub or the shared shipping hub.
How tall are the pipe barriers?
Pipe barriers. So the barriers, get you an exact measurement. I'm sure you can look at the field setup guide and it'll have the measurements. The pipe itself is 1 inch, about 1 1/4 inches high. The pipe receptacle is about 1 inch and 3/8, and then the pipe connectors are, I guess, right about 2 1/4 inches high. So where the pipes connect, that little triangle piece on the end caps goes about 2 1/4 inches high.
During the end game, how many ducks are we, the players, allowed to place on the carousel in total, not at a time?
1 at a time. So if I'm one of the drive team members, you can see me here. Yes, you can. I can place my duck. I believe, I have to research this, I believe anywhere along the sweeper bar. Obviously, you can't put, it has to be touching the sweeper bar. The robot can come spin the wheel. The robot has to touch the edge. They cannot touch the bottom of the plate. The robot cannot touch the top of the plate. They have to spin by the rim. They'll spin it. The duck will fall. And as soon as the wheel stops moving is when the drive team member can place another duck. And again, one duck at a time. And whenever the wheel is spinning, the drive team member cannot interact with the carousel, the duck, at all until the wheel stops spinning. Place another duck. Now you notice if I place it way out towards the end, you can see what happens. Not much. And at this point, I believe the robot would have to stop spinning it so that the drive team member could reposition it to a spot that will actually drop it. And then just for sake, be careful. You spin it too fast, the duck will fall off before it reaches around to the sweeper bar.
How many points per duck?
I do not know. Look at Game Manual 2 for all the points. I saw them once, but I did not memorize them.
How many elements can you score at a time?
How many elements can you score at a time? So because you can only carry 1 scoring element at a time, you can only score 1 element at a time. I'll use these as examples. I'm holding one, I can place one. I'm holding one, I can place one. If I'm holding two, that's a penalty. I'm containing too much. And if I score while I'm holding more than I'm allowed, that would also be a penalty, probably a major penalty. One thing I'm going to take, before I go back to the questions, in order, this is important, and I forgot this, in order to get freight out of the warehouse zone, there's a procedure of Game Manual 2. A robot has to start outside, completely outside the warehouse. They have to go completely in the warehouse. They can grab some freight and then go completely out of the warehouse, at which point they can then score it or do what they, or put it in a spot. So look at the definitions for warehouse operations in Game Manual 2. That's very important. That's what the referee is going to be looking for. That you're completely out, completely in, grab the freight, and then go completely out before you can score with that freight.
How hard is the carousel to spin?
The carousel. You can see I'm not giving it a lot of force. It does not seem to drift. That's just something you'll have to play with on your field or half field. It's actually pretty easy to move. I don't think a servo motor or something like that driving it with some type of wheel will be much of a problem.
Is our opponent's score our ranking score?
They changed this last year. I don't think they changed it this year. You need to look at Game Manual 1, and that'll explain how ranking points and tiebreaker points work. I don't want to explain it here because I don't want to get it wrong. Go to the source material, go to Game Manual 1.
Can we use rulers for parking again, or is that considered less points?
You can use tape measures, I think is what you meant to say. Yes, you can use tape measures to park and I believe navigate, if I understand the scoring. I do know that I think it's an in-game that you get, that if you are parked in, like I am in the warehouse, is 3 points, I think. But if you're completely in the warehouse, that's 6 points, or it's some number higher. So yes, you can use the tape measure, but because your robot is not completely in, you won't get you won't get as many points.
Are we allowed to extend parts of the robot off the field?
No, you cannot intentionally extend a robot outside of the frame perimeter, which is the outside surface. There's no scoring elements. There's no reason to have your robot reach outside the frame perimeter. If it's done unintentionally but safely, that's fine. Even if it's unintentional and you contact something outside the field, that would be, I know, at least a yellow card. I believe, and there might be a penalty associated with that too. I can't remember.
Can a robot move the barrier? Is it attached to the floor?
So the barrier is attached to the floor. I'm sorry, I think, well, you're saying the question right there at the mic. So the barrier is attached to the floor. Each, what are these, the tube or barrier brackets?
Brackets.
So the brackets here that hold the tubes are zip tied to a plate that sits underneath the floor, and the zip ties come up through the teeth in the floor. So you have 7 spots where it's tied to a plate that's underneath the floor, and then zip tied to that plate. So while it's not attached to the floor, in fact, we didn't do that. You can see this moves back and forth because we didn't put the plates in just for the kickoff. You would not be able to move the barrier back and forth because the plates below each tile would hopefully hold it into place.
Are you allowed to put elements onto the shared shipping hub before endgame?
So elements onto the shared before endgame, I believe yes. The shared shipping hub, which is this one with the tape on either side, the shared shipping hub is off limits during autonomous, but during driver control and then in-game, you can put elements on here at any time, I believe. Pretty sure that's the case. And then during end game is where, during the end of the match is where they'll determine if who won the battle, if it's unbalanced for your lines.
Are you allowed to grab blocks or balls from the warehouse even if the robot is not fully in the warehouse?
No. To get any balls or freight out of the warehouse, you have to start completely out, go completely in the warehouse, and completely in means no part of your robot's hanging over the line or outside the line. Grab your freight and then go completely out. So again, look at Game Manual 2. The definition is called warehouse operations. So I definitely want to look at that. Do we have one or two more questions left, or are we gonna?
I think we're done.
So again, you can definitely ask more questions if we have time. I can answer them, but I think we're going to show you some additional video that also shows the field.
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge 2021-2022 season game, Freight Frenzy, presented by Raytheon Technologies. A team consists of up to 2 driver operators, a coach, and a robot. The robot must be built from materials specified in the game manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing tool, but may expand after the match begins. Each match is played with 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. Your opponent for one match may be your partner for another. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls. In the back of the field are taped-off warehouses, which are alliance neutral. Obstructing the warehouses are barriers that robots must drive over or around. At the front of the field are Alliance-specific storage units. Alliance-specific carousels are mounted on the front corners of the field walls. Alliance-specific barcode tape is located between the warehouses and the storage units. 4 unique navigation images are located around the field perimeter. 2 Alliance-specific shipping hubs and a 3rd shared shipping hub are positioned as shown. Outside of the field walls are the red and blue Alliance stations. There are 2 types of freight: 20 pieces of cargo, 2.7 inches in diameter, and 2-inch square boxes in various weights. 30 lightweight, 20 medium, and 10 heavy boxes. 4 of the lightweight boxes are marked with an X. In addition, rubber ducks will play a key role in the game, and teams will be constructing their own custom-designed shipping elements. Before each match, the freight is stored in the warehouses and a preload box is placed onto the field for each robot. A duck is placed onto each carousel and in the middle position of each barcode. The remaining ducks are stored in the Alliance loading docks. Teams then place their robots on the field, touching the wall adjacent to their Alliance station, but not in a warehouse. The teams then place 1 preload box for each robot. A team may then decide to use their own shipping element in place of a duck on the barcode, or store their shipping element in the loading dock. The duck or shipping element on the barcode is then randomized to one of 3 locations. The players and field are now ready. Each match begins with a 30-second autonomous period. During this period, there are a number of ways for teams to score, using only pre-programmed instructions and sensor inputs. Delivering the duck from the carousel earns 10 points. Each piece of freight delivered to the Alliance's storage unit will earn 2 points. Each preloaded box placed on an Alliance's shipping hub earns 6 points. But there are ways to earn bonus points. If the box is placed on the correct level as indicated by the duck's location on the barcode, the Alliance earns a 10-point bonus. If a robot places its preload box on the level shown by its Alliance's shipping element position on the barcode, it will earn a 20-point bonus. A robot parked on its Alliance's storage unit earns 3 points. However, if the robot is parked completely in the storage unit, it will earn 6 points. A robot parked in the warehouse closest to its Alliance station earns 5 points. If the robot is completely inside the warehouse, it will earn 10 points. Following the autonomous period is the 2-minute driver-controlled period. During this time, Alliances score points by delivering freight to storage units and shipping hubs. For example, each piece of freight delivered to an Alliance's storage unit will earn 1 point. Freight scored on an Alliance's shipping hub will earn 2 points on a level 1, 4 points on a level 2, and 6 points on level 3. Each freight scored on the Alliance's side of the shared shipping hub will score 4 points for their Alliance. The last 30 seconds of the driver control period is the end game. Robots may continue scoring freight, and there are also ways to earn bonus points. Delivering a duck or shipping element to the floor earns the Alliance 6 points. A balanced shipping hub at the end of the match earns 10 points. If an Alliance's section of the shared shipping hub is in contact with the tile floor, that Alliance earns 20 points. Robots parked in a warehouse earn 3 points. However, if the robot is parked completely in the warehouse, it earns 6 points. Each team's shipping element, fully supported by a shipping hub center pole or another team's capped shipping element, will earn 15 points. There are many ways to score in Freight Frenzy, but there are also rules that, if not followed, will deduct points from your Alliance. For example, robots cannot interfere or interact with the opposing Alliance shipping hub. Scoring elements may not be launched. Robots may not interfere with their opposing Alliance's capping attempts. Only one duck or team shipping element is allowed on the carousel at a time. A robot may not cause an opposing Alliance robot to become pinned, trapped, or blocked. This is just a brief summary of the Freight Frenzy game. For complete rules, please read the game manual and check the Q&A forum. And always remember the most important rule of First Tech Challenge: gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a great season.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mountain, Maryland Kickoff here at Garrett College. Let's go ahead and see what some teams think of the new game. So what is your name and what team are you from?
My name is Jeremy, and I'm from Team 9445 Loading.
And what part of the game are you most excited about this year?
I'm most excited about being able to have our own pieces as our kind of vision targets for Autonomous, because I feel like it'd be a lot easier to pick up a piece that I designed, because I could make it whatever shape or color I wanted to vision tag it.
And what was your first reaction to seeing the Freight Frenzy game?
Well, I like the ducks. That was my first impression.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Let's go ahead and hear from someone else. So what is your name and what team are you from?
My name is Laura, and I'm with Team 2818 G-Force.
And what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be for this season?
I think the biggest challenge will be turning the carousel, and I'm super excited to work with my team to find a solution.
What about the barriers? How do you think teams are going to navigate through those?
I think teams will have to work really hard to go over the barriers.
All right, thank you, Laura. And can you tell us your name and what team you're from?
Hi, my name is Amelia. I'm from 2818 G-Force.
So what do you think about the carousels this year? They're super unique to this game, I think.
I'm really excited about the carousels. I think they're a really unique game piece that we haven't seen anything like previously. I also think it's going to be interesting to see how teams tackle it because there's a very obvious solution to it, but I think if you have a more intricate design, it would be really good in judging.
And what were you most excited about when seeing the game?
Besides the ducks, I'm really interested about the change of the wobble goal with the non-alliance specific one. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how people tackle the different balances because the sooner your side is full, the harder it is for the other side to get anything.
All right. Thank you, Amelia. So what's your name and what team are you from?
My name is Chase, and I'm from 9445 Loading.
So what do you think about the carousels for this year?
I believe the carousels will provide an interesting challenge for the teams. You'll have to choose the correct speed, and you will have to make sure that your duck does not fall off the carousel if you're moving it too fast.
And are you looking forward to getting back to competing in real events against other teams this year?
Yes, it was kind of boring without the teams last year.
And what was your first reaction when the game came out?
I was really excited about the ducks because we haven't had anything on the field like that just for fun.
All right, thank you, Chase. So what's your name and what team are you from?
My name is Caleb, and I'm on 2818 G-Force.
All right, and so what type of robot do you think we'll need to build this year, or what teams will need to start looking at?
I think teams will want to use a small, nimble robot because there's lots of tight spaces and things that can get knocked around. With a bigger, clunkier robot, you'll hit those and stuff.
And what do you think is going to be a big challenge for teams this year, other than the carousel?
I think getting over those bumps to get into the hangar will definitely be something that teams will have to work on a lot.
All right, nice, thank you. So now we're going to be heading over to Capitol Tech to drop into their kickoff. We want to send a big hello to G-Force alumni, Will Baker and Evan Lewis, who are currently students at Capitol Tech. Thank you.
All right. Hello. What team are you from?
14575, right?
All right. Yeah. Is this your? Okay. Come on. Come here over in the field. All right. So can you say your team number and name for the?
Hello. We're Capital Bots number 14575. We're based in McLean, Virginia.
All right. So what do you think will be the hardest part of this year's challenge?
I think it's going to be basically navigating in and out of that box, and also balancing these game elements here. As you know, they wobble pretty easily, as we saw the wobble goals last year. So I think balance and precision is going to be kind of those main elements.
Oh yes.
I think that balancing those game elements is probably going to be a big part of the game, especially considering that's large point number at the end game. So.
Do you have any input on the game this year? On
the hardest
hardest element, that you think?
Well, I definitely think the hardest part is going to be crossing that, because I think the name of the game this year is speed. How fast can you go between there and there? And you need to be able to get over that PVC pipe really quickly in order to score points fast. Yeah,
I noticed that. I think the hardest element, in my opinion, is that rubber duck right there, because it's very squishy. Oh, okay. All right. So if another team would care to come up, can we get? All right. So, team name and
Robot Uprising 14607.
All right. So, what do you think is the most challenging aspect of this year's game?
I definitely think it's going to be this barrier here because, at least for our team, we've been looking into a lot of mechanism wheels and odometry that we could do to move around the field. But for this, they'll pretty much we can't use mechanism or odometry because that will just break it. So I think we might consider using a belt drive. Everything else seems pretty interesting. It seems workable, but this barrier is definitely the hardest part of this challenge.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a difficulty. I think also trying to get these weighted cubes to be distinguished from the rest of the cubes will be a hard thing, because you obviously need a weight advantage over on the non-alliance specific, whereas this one you probably want a little more lighter weight just to ensure that it's not tipping, because I notice you got more points if it's not tipping, versus that one you want it to tip to your side, so you want to probably put more weight over on your side of your side of that non-alliance specific balance there. All right. Any other teams want to come up here? Come on up. Don't be shy. Go on, check out some game elements over here. So you're the mentor of Capital Bots, right?
Yeah, I'm just one of the parents of Capital Bots.
All right. So what do you think about this year's game, and what do you think is going to be the hardest challenge from a mentor's perspective?
I think this year's game has got lots of complication as well as the management of the boxes are concerned. Because previous year's game was very simple. This year has got a rolling thing and a balancing stuff, which will require a completely different robot. And second thing is also, robots are going to compete for space up here. So you can't have a large robot, I think. So those are all the two major things I think the teams are going to have.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor, considering that. I think another thing is as I mentioned before, the rubber ducks, they're going to be hard to manipulate.
Rubber ducks I think is a pretty important thing. The mechanism to intake is going to be a pretty key thing this year, I think. And then it's going to be a game of how nimble the robot is. If the robot is nimble, it's going to win. If it's going to be big and large to maneuver, I think it's going to have a lot more challenges on this particular stuff. And I also thought that designing your own object to put in the front gives a little bit of freedom to some of the teams so that they can easily manipulate the first object at least.
Yeah, I think that's not the first time they've done a custom element, because I was there senior year with Skystone when they first introduced that game element, and I think this year it's going to be a little bit of a challenge trying to get it on top there. Not too hard, but it can provide some challenges.
Actually, when you watch from the top, the diameter is reducing from the top, right? The diameter is reducing. So if you have to go to the top, not only you cannot just drive up to this one and just drop it off. Yeah. So the claw to move as well to the front and back. So as you said, I think that's going to be you need to go up and you need to also traverse to the front.
All right, thank you. All right, let's take a look at some of the new programming tools.
Have you ever wished that you could make use
of the rumble feature of your game controller. You could use it to let your robot give you feedback, or you could use it to alert the driver that it's 10 seconds before endgame. Well, your wish has been granted. Hey everyone, my name is Mr. Phil, and I am coach of the GeForce FTC team, and I'm a member of the FTC tech team. I'm going to show you some of the features that are in the new 2021-2022 software development kit and the standard apps that you run on your phone or your control hub or your driver station this year. I'll also show you some new samples that exist in the software development kit, and you can use these to create your own Rumble features. So stand by and check it out.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin Fadden, member of the First Tech Challenge Game Design Committee. Now that you've seen the Freight Frenzy presented by Raytheon Technologies game, let's talk about some of the unique challenges that you'll see in this year's game. First, let's talk about the autonomous task, specifically reading the barcodes. When a team arrives at the field for pre-match setup, there will be a duck located on the middle barcode facing to the right. A team places their robot touching their alliance wall and must preload the preload box. A robot may either be touching the preload box or in full possession of it. Now, a team has the option of introducing their team shipping element onto the field in place of the duck. Once placed, the actual location of the duck or team shipping element will be randomized. This task is really about reading the barcode to determine where the duck or team shipping element is located. The location of either indicates which level of the Alliance shipping hub to score the preload box. Teams receive more points for this task using the team shipping element in place of the duck. Located in the back of the field are the warehouses. Each warehouse holds approximately half of the freight. Freight consists of cargo and 3 different weighted boxes. The warehouses are Alliance neutral, as are the scoring elements. In order for a robot to legally collect and possess freight, they must first start completely out of the warehouse, drive completely in the warehouse, collect 1 piece of freight, and then drive completely out of the warehouse with the collected freight. To access the warehouse, robots will need to traverse over the barriers. Now, there have been allowances made for robots to avoid driving over the barriers, as there is an approximate 13.75-inch gap. Teams will need to factor this into their robot design strategy. Do you build a robot that will be able to fit through the gap, or would a better strategy be to build a larger robot that can successfully cross the barriers? As mentioned in the game animation, there are 3 different weighted boxes that make up the freight. Teams can strategize how they program their robot or use sensors to determine the weight of the box as they retrieve them from the warehouse, because the weights will make a difference when placed onto the Alliance or shared shipping hubs. All of the shipping hubs have a wobble base. For the Alliance shipping hubs, you want to try and keep those balanced throughout the match, meaning the rim of the shipping hub is not in contact with the floor. The shared shipping hub is split for use of both of the alliances, and the intent is to have the shared shipping hub tipped in favor of your alliance with the rim of the hub touching the floor. In front of the field towards the audience are 2 carousels, one for the red alliance and one for the blue alliance. Teams will need to be thoughtful when designing a mechanism to interact with the carousel. The robot may only interact with the rim of the carousel to make the platform of the carousel spin. Spinning the carousel and knocking the duck or team shipping element to the floor is the only way to legally deliver the elements to earn points. During the endgame, robots may now cap their Alliance shipping hub. Teams will need to be thoughtful about their team shipping element design strategy, as well as how they place the team shipping element onto the hub. The goal is to cap the Alliance shipping hub while still keeping the hub balanced. I hope you enjoyed this overview of Freight Frenzy presented by Raytheon Technologies. Please make sure to read both the Game Manual Part 1 and Game Manual Part 2. There are 2 versions of each of these manuals on our website for both remote and traditional gameplay. Also, every team is allocated 1 account to ask questions and receive official answers on the First Tech Challenge forum throughout the season. Thanks for taking a closer look. We're excited to see how you work together and use your robots to build a path forward.
That concludes our FTC Kickoff, Game Reveal, and Meet the Field, sponsored by InSource Solutions. I'd like to thank all of our major First Chesapeake sponsors, with a special thank you to InSource Solutions for sponsoring today's event. In closing, please watch this short video from all of our sponsors.
Lidos. 1 part inspiration, 1 part science, 1 part legacy, and 1 part opportunity. We live in a complex, uncertain world, a world that demands breakthroughs today, like safe and reliable transportation, a robust infrastructure, better health solutions, a safer cyberspace, and an efficient military. Lidos, ready to support your next breakthrough.
First Tech Challenge, you're developing real-world skills such as digital literacy, teamwork, leadership, creative problem solving, and project management. Skills that are used every day at Raytheon Technologies.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams. We're excited to welcome you to Freight Frenzy presented by Raytheon Technologies. I'm Mark Iwamoto, a First Tech Challenge alum and a radar systems engineer here at Raytheon Technologies. Just like First Tech Challenge, at Raytheon Technologies, we're accelerating ideas to solve some of the world's biggest challenges through collaboration, innovation, and of course, gracious professionalism. When I was in First, my team's robot included materials like plywood, PVC pipes, surgical tubing, and a lot of glue and duct tape. We found unique solutions to be competition ready and the opportunity to tackle engineering problems in a large team setting. Now, I work on the ASARS-2B program, an advanced all-weather surveillance radar that flies on the Lockheed Martin U-2 aircraft. I always knew I was interested in engineering, but it was the hands-on engineering and mentorship from Raytheon and other industry engineers that solidified my desire and gave me the skills, confidence, and opportunity to pursue it. Now it's your chance to build the skills and confidence to forge your own path and find unique solutions to Freight Frenzy and the real-world challenges beyond. Aaron, what about you?
Mark is absolutely right. First Tech Challenge taught me the power of creative problem solving, collaboration, learning through failure, and perseverance. Hi teams, my name's Erin Kerrigan Mitchell, First Tech Challenge alum, shout out to Team 4140 Fish in the Boat, mentor for all 3 FIRST programs, event volunteer, and a manufacturing engineer at Collins Aerospace. FIRST is the reason that I am an engineer. It's also why I work at Collins Aerospace. And at Collins, my various engineering roles have not only allowed me to be innovative, but contribute to the innovation and improvement of humanitarian transportation. And now I work on producibility and ease of assembly, so that when parts need to be installed or replaced on a plane, it can be done quickly, safely, and in a variety of environments. The product I currently work on helps with overheat detection along the wing of the aircraft, so there's constant feedback to the pilot on the endurance levels of the plane, especially critical in dangerous weather or when transporting important material. Innovation and inventions of every size can make an impact, and the future of transporting critical items quickly, safely, and efficiently relies on your creative solutions. Good luck this season, teams.
Thanks, Aaron, and hello, First Tech Challenge teams. I'm Daniel Fishman, proud FIRST alum, FIRST robotics competition mentor, event volunteer, and project engineer at Pratt & Whitney. Through my experience in FIRST, I started to develop the skills necessary to communicate and cooperate with diverse groups. I also learned how to grow from my failures as well as my successes. On top of these soft skills, I obtained the engineering skills necessary to build a robot. Every day, I continue to develop and build these skills with my new team at Pratt & Whitney. Like Mark and Aaron, my experience with FIRST helped launch my career in engineering. Thanks to the valuable mentorship from Pratt & Whitney engineers on my FIRST team, I obtained multiple internships. Now, I get to develop innovative solutions for a class of Pratt & Whitney engines that support global humanitarian efforts. How will you use the skills you're developing today to build your projects of tomorrow? Good luck this season, and thanks for participating in Freight Frenzy, presented by Raytheon Technologies.
A huge thank you to all our sponsors this year, making our first forward season and Freight Frenzy game possible. Since 2006, Qualcomm has supported FIRST programs, events, and teams worldwide and has also been a major technology partner with First Tech Challenge. Through their collaboration and support of FIRST, Qualcomm is helping build the pipeline of STEM leaders who will drive the invention age.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams, and welcome to the first forward season presented by Qualcomm. My name is Susie Armstrong, and I am a Senior Vice President of Engineering at Qualcomm. We are so happy to be a part of this exciting season as we explore the future of transportation and how it impacts individuals and economies across the globe. The future of transportation is so vast, from getting packages delivered to your front door to bringing humans to space. So much technology from the business community powers the future, and we at Qualcomm are so excited to play a role in it. Our foundational wireless technologies transforms how the world connects, computes, and communicates, and has the power to enhance how goods and people travel, providing increased visibility and control over transportation systems. From the wireless technology that keeps us all interconnected, to powering solutions to explore life beyond Earth, Qualcomm has always been at the forefront of transportation innovation. And now it's your turn to drive. In First Forward, first teams will explore how to innovate for future transportation ecosystems, making the delivery of essential items faster and more sustainable than ever before. You are forging a new path, accelerating the breakthroughs of tomorrow, and you are driving First Forward, full speed ahead. Good luck to all this season.